be ready to answer questions from citizens that may exist. The other thing that we haven't been asked to do, because it's still relatively new, but we need to be prepared to provide the state with what's called a local readiness report. This obviously came out with COVID, the state realized there really was not much consistency in terms of the quality of the public health role within the state in each of the towns. So it's a pretty good RSA. We've had a lot of communications with all the local health officers with the state engaging us, and so one of the outcomes of that new update is just to have this relatively brief for folks in town here who aren't familiar with what the role of a public health officer is. It's to be available to residents for public health related questions and concerns. Before March 2020, most of the things that I was asked to do have to do with working with the town building inspector on assessing complaints of either mold, horse poop, things that may or may not have been an issue. Most of the time it actually wasn't anything, but they would come to me asking, hey, is this a health issue? Safety, etc. There's a lot of reports and paperwork that pertain to like foster adoption home, child care licensing, so we have at least the one Nurture Nature over in Newfields that do that. And there's a few reports here and there to do. And then any sort of communication or updates regarding communicable diseases, so mosquito-borne illness, E. coli, and then obviously COVID-19, like I said, brought the magnifying glass to the role. Specifically over this past year and a half regarding COVID, I've tried to have some regular communication with community members. We started doing Q&A sessions here in Town Hall and then shifted it to online. I know it's not ideal for all folks who don't have access, but we're trying to keep messaging going through. Susan and Keisha have been really good at helping update the website if any new things come about, and the select board has definitely asked me for updates as needed, which is really helpful. We helped do voting, holiday celebrations, school board meetings, select board meetings, I think all really without any complications and issues. Again, it was a testament to the folks in the town, so good work. Fun role, it can be complicated, trying to get this messaging across into chunks that's not threatening or overwhelming, but also just trying to communicate facts that are there. And then there is this goal of the crisis emergency risk communication team, which is be first, be right, be credible. It's a pretty challenging thing to do all the time, but that is overall the goal of what I'm trying to do. Make sure to get things out in front of the public if there's any public health issues that come around. Try to be as accurate as I can be and to hopefully have people trust what I can say. I did want on the other side to just remind folks that the state has a really comprehensive website, covid19.nh.gov. I did update these numbers. I had it done yesterday, and of course the numbers got updated today. They're really good updated numbers, which is good. And a couple of just metrics in regards to the pandemic that I think is important for us to keep an eye on, especially now at this legacy situation. A couple of numbers that we're looking at is new cases per 100,000 over 14 days. And right now, you might hear this metric in regards to like the school and different recommendations. The SNU has recommendations here, so it's just a metric that I think is important to have some familiarity with. Right now, you can see the numbers there. I don't need to bore the community members here, but I will put this up on the website so people can have access to it. In addition to the new cases, we have the test positivity rate, which is another metric that I'm sure you all listen to the news and become familiar with. And that sort of shows the percentage of tests that have been done over the last 7 days, what percent of them have been positive. And those two things are good metrics for helping follow how things are going. I get a lot of questions specifically about Newfields, understandably. Our vaccination rate is about 60% of all citizens, that as far as our most recent data is.
That's not good.
Well, it's a number that's above 50, which is notable. So it's a majority of patients, of people.
Is that eligible citizens to
No.
vaccinate or all?
And that's what's interesting, right? So the total is 1720. That's what we have on the census for the number of people in Newfields. I don't know exactly how accurate it is. I don't think it got updated recently. But that's the number
That sounds low.
Right.
I think we're slightly over 1,800 now.
So then that would, not to be the bearer, but that means that it's actually lower than that because our denominator is so low.
But that includes kids.
Correct.
Correct. Do you know what percentage of the town is, let's say, under the age of 16?
Not a
Okay.
thing. Yeah. Relatively
That's
low.
probably the big difference.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
relatively low in that the school, the NES public school, has a population no more than 100 on good days, and it's a little bit under 7 years. So it's still relatively small.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to share, which is helpful to know sort of where we stand in comparison to our neighbors, so to speak, our rates of vaccination in Newfields is a bit lower than the surrounding towns directly surrounding us. But comparatively to the state, it's not terrible. We actually were and had been in the upper, third of towns in the state, just as a fact. On the flip side, in terms of cumulative COVID cases, which is also important to know, like how many of our folks in town have gotten sick. Right now, according to the website that was updated today, we had 97 cases. There's one more in the last day. So about 5.7% of the town, which is pretty low compared to the surrounding towns. So when people say Newfields is doing well, we are doing well. The people in town have thankfully not had a high likelihood of testing positive for COVID. We're the fifth lowest in the COs, that was interesting, behind Lee, Kensington, Newington, and Newcastle. Newcastle has a little island, they can do their thing, but I thought that's really important to know. The biggest update that I wanted to just share with the board, and I think I probably should get the board's blessing, as part of our town festival, the fall festival, September 25th, I did connect with the state mobile van, vaccination van, to see if we could get a van here. The van itself is pre-booked, but the state is partnering with a few other organizations, and has said that they are available to come between 5 and 7. And I shared with the three of you the flyer that the state provided, which has consistent language about the vaccine clinic, should we move ahead with it. It's a sponsored event with New Hampshire Department of Health and Human Services, partnering our particular event will partner with Firehead LLC, which is a reputable company as far as I can tell, doing research. They do vaccine clinics and have been all along. And it would be completely free, no appointment needed. They do ask for an ID, and you are between 12 and 17 to have parental consent required.
So what do you do about second doses?
Yep, so New Hampshire was the last state in the country to get a vaccine registry, but we do have one. And I believe that any place that is administering vaccines will be able to access that information. And I will verify that once we get the green light, and if not, then I'll make sure that if you are looking for a second, or if at that time it will potentially be a window for the third dose for some folks, to bring your vaccine on. But I wanted to, before I got all the details about the event, I wanted to just share with you all. I did secure somebody. I was getting nervous, especially with all the updates that have come over this last week. I was a little nervous that we weren't going to be able to get it. I did tell them, they were asking for a number of vaccinations that I thought might be given at that site at our event. And I was thinking positively before this, it was last month when I applied for it, I said 15. I think we probably could easily get 15 folks. I know I myself will be up for my, it'll be 8 months after my second dose, and
So that is still, that's a real deal. Okay.
That is the plan. So nothing is formulated yet, and that's actually something that I will plan to share through the town, because that is sort of it's certainly a moving, updated recommendation. And my goal will just be to share the recommendation. I'm not going to, I haven't all along tried to say it's good, it's bad that we're doing this, that we're doing that, but I think it is an important tool in trying to get past this.
Talk about the booster?
The vaccination in general, yeah. But yeah, in terms of the booster, the timing should.
I'm getting emails from Martin's Point planning ahead.
Yeah.
for the
I
booster.
think it's timing of it, if we can we can help, our residents access that booster when we
Yeah.
need it at this point, I think it's an awesome idea.
I think it certainly lucked out, we made the dates for the fall event way before we had the information. The one thing they do ask is I offered, they said what things can we provide, and I took just on a limb and saying we could probably offer some tables and a few chairs. If that's a problem, let me know, I can bring my own tables. They did ask about electricity, and we're planning on having that be part of, if the festival requires any electricity, using that. And trash can. I think we can accommodate that. There is Wi-Fi, I got Xfinity here, so I told them that we could potentially use that.
Well, the town has a network in the hall too.
Is that, I didn't know if we were able to use that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's that shouldn't be a problem.
They did also ask to let the police and fire department know that it's happening. And interestingly, in the email, they had said for both the safety of the vaccinators and those getting vaccinated. And I think that is just probably a prudent thing to do, and I'm happy to make that communication. I don't think they're asking for the responsibility of the town police officers or the fire department, just know that it's going to happen. And the thought, you hear more from Charlotte about the event for the fall festival, we're thinking having the van or the setup be in the parking lot, so that when they're done, which will be before the end of the festival, they can exit the north side of town and not disrupt the flow. And then, other than that, I just have my email on the bottom, which again, I'll have to ask Tricia to post these if people have any questions. But that's all I have for our quote formal local board of health meeting. Does anybody have any questions or anything?
All right.
Select board, do I get your green light about moving forward with the offering mobile vaccine?
Oh, you mean for the,
For the event,
For the
only
fall.
that's going to be on
Yeah.
in the park.
I don't see a problem with it, you guys don't?
Any formal communication that comes my way about logistics, is it all right for it to pass it to you guys?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. All right, there are no questions? Thank you very much, Bobby. Let's see what time is it? It's 7:30 now. Why don't we move into the fall festival then before we get into the more mundane aspects of our day?
Okay. And we have the most delicious somebody else decided
Well, we have peaches, enough peaches on the branches, porches, and one critter took bites out of all of them.
Oh, no.
Thank you.
They love peaches too. And it's peaches.
Okay, so when I spoke with you guys before, it was maybe with the possibility of collecting a little bit of funds from you guys. So I don't think we're gonna need any money. We have gone and gotten donations, and there might be a possibility that if we could get $150 for posters and maybe flyers, that would be the only thing. But with the rest of what we're planning on doing, we've come up with donors, so that's really good. On the paper is pretty much all of what we're going to do, and it's kind of a rough draft. I can get everything put together for you at the very end. I did get a hold of the police department, and we secured that. So as far as this portion of it, that's right here. There's something that I need to bring up. When I came this year about talking about the Fall Festival, it was brought up, a paper that came up from last year about what we were going to do. And I didn't remember putting anything together, but I thought, who remembers, from last year? And then Jackie brought up something that was brought up again this year, and it was paperwork that was put through. It wasn't me that did that. There's another entity, her name's Jessica House.
Oh,
And she is going to be doing some stuff with the PTO, and she is she has gotten her own vendors, and so she's going to be doing that. The only thing why I'm bringing this up is because she had said something to me about if her folks wanted to leave early, that they were going to do that, and I just, the road's going to be closed. We don't want to have anything being any kind of traffic going through. So if there's any problems, I just want to make sure that I personally is separated from that part of it. But we're all working together, and it's going to be great. I'm not sure yet about the fireworks. I still haven't secured that, but
so where would that be?
the fireworks,
Like by the well, out?
well, where I had thought of it originally would be over by where Jeff Meester lives, where
Yeah.
they usually do it for
Right
the
in front of
Fourth.
us. Yeah.
But do you think that we can see them from there, from here? I mean, I don't want the whole town to go and down to that neighborhood.
Man.
I don't know.
I mean, don't fireworks go up?
Yeah.
I think what Carol's talking about is, where the tree line is so close to
Yeah.
where the country store is, they'll have to go really far out.
Okay.
And I think it depended upon the scale and scope of your firework display.
Yeah, okay.
So, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. What do you guys think about if we did it after the ponies left in the back, the band left, doing it out in the parking lot? Would that be dangerous?
It's always dangerous.
I know.
Have you had a conversation with the fire department about this?
I did with Jeff Feenstra, but I said something to Ray today, and he said to make sure that I talked to Jeff Boston, so I am going to go and talk to him now. So that's why I'm saying tentative right now.
Okay, that's fine.
What did Jeff say? Did he say it was?
Yeah, that was when I spoke with him a couple months ago, I think, when we first talked about it, and I had said something about over there, and he was fine about it. I mean, we got the donation to get to the fire department, everything was okay regarding that. But then Leroy said, nobody's going to be able to see it. So then I started to think about that.
Or we call Hilton's Field. Or
Well, you'd have to check with the sellers about that. They don't
no,
know.
I'm just trying to think of
Yeah.
open, accessible.
No, I know, I just want to make sure everyone understands that town does not own their field.
That's why I did it. So-called Hilton's
Who
Field.
do you contact on that?
Well, no, I had a suggestion last time, they had fireworks in Westmore, and it's down in Coed.
Oh, yeah.
We set up in the front parking lot, and we had a way in.
Yeah, that would be
I
a good
think we
spot.
only had one mistake, so that was pretty good.
And that'd be easy for people to.
Would be good,
Yeah,
a good way to get everybody off the street, too.
see it. They'll be able to see it.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
Did you find a pony?
We did find ponies. We do.
Found
Right.
pony, we found lots of donors, which is really exciting. The magician is MIA right now, that's all. Look at the whole thing.
It vanished.
It vanished.
I might have a backup if you need one.
Awesome.
I have a question. So in the past, this hasn't been a town event. This was done by you or by private people. And for the most part, it wasn't occurring on town property. I know they parked the band trailer there, but the event itself was really not on town property. What you're describing here has a lot more town involvement. And the question I have here is, well, two things I think we need to think about. One is insurance,
Oh, gosh, yeah.
liability. If the town's going to basically be a sponsor of this event, or at least have it on town property, it's an issue that needs to be addressed, which leads into my second issue, which is, and I'm not sure how we finesse this. So this has typically been an open container event, which is against the law. I'm not sure our insurance is going to be willing to
God, no.
add a rider for this as that type of an event. So I don't know what the answer is, but I think you need to think about going out. I mean, I know there are companies that will write, one-day events, insurance for one-day events. I think you need to think about that, and we need to come up with a solution for that, because slip and fall on the town property during this event, and we're going to be sued,
Well, for that.
especially with open container alcohol, which I assume is going to take place. Or are you restricting alcohol consumption to a tent?
Well, I can't do that because I've tried and it just can't. I mean, it's the last, I do have to say the last couple of years, I didn't see an issue. Leroy and I always stood right in front of the store to see who was going in and going out with open containers. I mean, a lot of it went to maybe different people's homes and their properties. But I understand, and I did forget to say something about.
Well, anybody, with the events across the street though, you're creating now, I'm assuming people will be crossing back and forth across the street.
Right.
I think we need to be very careful here and make sure that our T's are crossed and our I's are dotted with respect to somebody getting some insurance and relieving the town of liability here, especially
That is,
because this isn't an open container.
Leslie's going out on a limb.
Well,
But
You can't know.
our choice. I'm with you, Betsy, I'm with you.
Charlotte, I have a question. These
Okay.
tables that are put in front, that you have like actually, these tables, are these Jessica's tables or is this Jessica's area? Because
So
she wrote a permit. She has a permit. So I think, doesn't that alleviate some of this for your part? If some of, like where you want your stuff to have, is that on town property or is this big section of stuff Jessica's?
Well, this is becoming a far more of a town sanctioned event at this point, right? We're permitting the access to this and access to the town property for this, where in the past it really didn't take place on town property. It took place in the street and at the country store and at Leslie's house. And I had concerns back then about it, mainly because it's an open container event. That's really the big problem here. If it wasn't an open container event, it would be very simple for the town to get a rider for this from our insurance.
I'm chuckling because I never knew it was, I would have taken advantage of it.
Oh, are you kidding me? No.
Well, we have little
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's an open container event. It is. For better or for worse, it is.
Right.
And so my concern is with the town getting now more involved in it, okay? We are now exposing ourselves and we need to make sure that this is properly insured from our standpoint.
Leslie, just so you all know, Leslie just let me know that she is planning on getting a one-day insurance policy for her property, and it's $100.
Yep.
And she's gonna.
Yeah,
Yep.
which is a good.
Smart move for Leslie, absolutely. Absolutely.
From a financial standpoint, Charlotte opened up the presentation saying we're not planning on asking for money because we're getting donations. Is it the kind of thing where if the money that we're planning on spending with the donations, and I got how much this insurance policy additionally costs, but,
I don't know.
and then the other question I would have is there a way to, in name, say it's not an open, what's it called, open
Container?
You can't, it's like, yes, you can say that.
If you say that, you have to enforce it.
That's look, the police have, for lack of a better term, turned a blind eye in the past to the event.
I guess I don't, because, so from my own history, with this event, like the streets have always been closed. So where has the town involvement stopped and where has it?
There was nothing on town property.
But
The town was not providing any funds for it.
Okay, but the town police made the decision to close the street, correct? So I'm trying to figure out where the separation is here. If you're saying that this has never been a town-sponsored event, that's not exactly true because the police have had to have been involved. So I'm trying to figure out
They
where.
paid the police. They paid the police for detail, much like Eversource paid the police for detail. It doesn't make what Eversource does a town-sanctioned event.
Michael, is this the first time the town's given money to this celebration?
Yeah, I don't believe that we've given money. It certainly wasn't on town property.
So,
We
Again,
have a celebration committee that has certain events.
this was never an event with a celebration.
No.
But I'm not talking necessarily about the police detail. I'm talking about the fact that they had to close the street. That doesn't seem like something that can be done on just the police saying that they're going to close the street, right? Like, did the board have to be involved in it?
Yeah, they asked us if they could close the street.
Okay, so we have had some town involvement. I'm trying to delineate how this has suddenly gotten so big that it's a problem where it wasn't in the
Again,
past. So that's
I
what
think
I'm
you cross the line when you start providing town money for it, and you cross the line when you start having the event on town property.
well, so far
That's
we
the
haven't
difference.
gotten any town money, right?
No, I agree. But what I'm saying here is, she's asking the question,
Right.
why is this any different? This is different, guys. This is the town now being far more actively involved with respect to this event. And while they turned a blind eye to it before on the open container, at a certain point, you can't keep doing it. And given the greater involvement of the town, I would think that the town would want to be in, make sure that there's not a liability problem here.
And I'm still trying to understand where the involvement of the town is. Are you talking about because they're using the land
Because it's
in front
on
of
the town property.
Yeah, it's on town property. People will be going back and forth from the country store to the vendor table to Leslie's house. Events are going to be taking place on town property.
Question is, would all this be alleviated if everything is moved to the street?
Yeah,
Right. So,
I was just about to say that.
so I'm looking for a solution.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, Bobby, and yeah, possibly.
I mean, yeah, it's not on
Can I ask a question? Why do you have to have a country store involved? Why can't you just move it all to like go and make it or?
That's their question. I mean, if you move it all on private property, the town is not,
Yeah.
presumably then the town's role is minimal, de minimis.
But you're gonna have Main Street, and if you set up the tables on Main Street and,
It's what we've done in the past.
and even the vaccine ban,
Everything, right?
if there's no traffic.
The two things that are planned for town property, it sounds like, are what I should mention, the vaccine. You said that was reasonable. and the pony,
Yeah.
just because we figured that would be a safer spot for that.
Mhm.
And if that's something that you want us to get insurance for, I guess that's feasible, but.
Yeah,
And
again,
I should say.
I'm encouraging you guys to talk to somebody about getting an insurance rider that covers the liability for this type of event. That's what I'm asking. I think it would be extremely difficult for the town to get a rider for this event, knowing that it's an open container event. It's against the law. So we'd be asking our insurance company to allow us to insure against an event that there's a law against. They won't do that.
But how would it be any different if I asked insurance to cover an open carry case against the law?
I'm
I'm not gonna do that.
No, I understand. I'm not gonna, you're not carrying the liability of the entire town, right?
I'm not
Somebody's gonna, if this event takes place, somebody's drinking, they walk down to the ponies and they slip and fall, they can then sue the town, and if our insurance company won't cover us if we don't have this properly insured against. And you're putting, the entire town balance sheet at risk in that situation. I think this is workable. I'm asking you guys to proactively go out and identify some way to insure with respect to this event. Because I don't think the town can do it.
Can we leave, like, the two events that need the parking lot? Or are you thinking all or nothing?
In all honesty, I think the responsible thing to do is for them to go out and just get the insurance.
Okay, that's what I'm saying, if they can't.
Okay.
Again, it's something that doesn't do insurance, just hearing you say that you don't think an insurance carrier would do it because it's against the law makes me a little concerned, but I haven't asked an insurance carrier if you do it.
They're really not exorbitant. I mean, it's a.
Well, that's because it's not that insurance.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna say. I'm pretty sure again, our legal liability here is as a town.
I understand. No,
And again, I don't have a problem with the event. I just want to make sure that we're not going to get sued.
I think we all are saying the same thing. Just wanted to understand. I had never been involved enough in this before, Leslie.
We just never did it, we always did it in the street.
Stick to the street.
The problem is you can't do the ponies in the street.
Right.
I mean, you can't.
Leslie's lawn.
Leslie's carrying a lot. There's a lot of heavy lifting. Look, talk to somebody, come back to us, let us know what they say. I don't know what the solution is, but I think that it needs to be addressed.
Michael, I was interested in learning more about the celebration. One of the things I love about Newfields, since I've been here, is all of our celebrations. Right? I love Memorial Day events, and I think it's really wonderful. And when I see those events, they are on town property. So I think as somebody who's naive to this process, I just didn't understand
The difference?
The difference.
That's an official town entity.
Celebration committee.
Yeah, so they're covered by the town insurance as an entity of the town.
So I think.
So when they do, for example, when they do things on the seller's property,
Right.
they ask permission to do it, but they also, we as a town have to get a rider to cover the sellers when we have an event on the seller's property. So,
I guess I was just confused when I asked Amy, I'd like to be involved in the celebration.
Mhm.
She said, "Oh, talk to Charlotte." And so that's why I thought.
so the Harvest Festival has never been a celebration committee event. It was started out as a private event by you directly, I believe.
Started out being.
And so it was never a town event.
What is the becoming? Is there any?
It was.
How does one become a town sanctioned event?
I think they have to have a conversation with
Yeah.
the celebration committee about what,
I talked to her.
Yep.
And this was supposed to be the summer solstice.
Right.
It just,
So it's all just kind of matched up.
COVID, that's why
Yeah.
it's the fall this year, because we didn't do it because, January was when I usually do it, so.
Now, have you talked to the police about the detail or talked to the celebration committee about how to get the detail and coordinate with
I
that?
did,
Okay, great. I just want to make sure.
yeah.
Yep. All right.
Well, either way, be there or be square. So it sounds like it's
Any other questions, comments? Okay, great. Thank you, Charlotte.
Thank you.
All right, we'll do a quick run through. So, do you guys have a copy? You are, good. The NMS 535.
Yep.
Why don't we just take a quick look at that? This is the official.
So is pest control gonna go over?
So, no, 32,000. Page 3 of 9.
Yeah.
32.
Yeah.
Should run over the budget. Go on.
Whoa. Only obviously keep going.
Typically, they know the budget that we're operating under, and
Okay.
my assumption was that they figure out the allocations to cover the
Okay.
season.
Yep.
But it's going beyond my pay grade to describe it more than that. But I mean, for the most part, the departments were good. Yeah. I think everything looks in line.
So, the highway block grant is, I just don't know what it was. What did the estimate have?
Estimated 43, the actual 43.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, everything was pretty much in line.
You got a bump on the municipal aid?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was, when we crafted our budget, you know, we were given the warning about meals and revenue tax and the shortfalls. So, we budgeted according to the guidance. Meals and room tax came in obviously much higher, than anticipated.
So was that a more accurate number going forward?
Yeah, we'll reassess it based upon the guidance that we get at the end of the year as we put the budget together. So we'll, you know.
I assume this was like the 10,000 was a COVID number, so the.
Correct, that's exactly right. Based on their guidance, you know, from over a year ago. And so the concern was that river meals revenue would dry up.
So the 90,000 is more.
I would assume that it is more accurate. I'd have to go back and look at the historics, but my assumption is that that's more in line with the typical revenue that we see. Yep.
So, historically, when does DRA reach out to us or vice versa on the tax, sending tax rate?
At the end of the year, typically. That's when
Okay, I just remember doing it in October, November.
we typically will do the budget October, November.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, we'll set the rate for the December tax collection.
Yeah.
And then we'll send out the property tax bills based upon that rate that gets set.
Oh, no, I know
Yep.
what it goes.
Any other questions on the MS 535?
I'd love somebody to hunt down what the income from departments, $83. What did we do?
For which department?
I don't know, it just says.
Oh,
charges
income from
for
departments,
service.
$83. Ask Sue, I mean, that could be a credit from some, you know, credit card charge, right? Credit back, yeah, who knows? I'll move the MS 535, this is something we need to sign and send to the state.
Second.
Second by Betsy, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye? All right, last meeting, we approved going with Lamprey for our heating oil at a fixed rate of $2.39.9 per gallon for the winter. We just have this to sign. Just letting you know.
Okay, so
We don't need
that's-
another vote. I'm just letting you
Yeah.
know I'm signing this on behalf of the town because we accepted it last meeting.
I didn't, okay.
What's today's date? Anybody?
24.
Thank you very much. Okay, great. Get that. Keisha? Francis Lane correspondence. For those of you who are not aware, Francis Lane used to be the town council for many years here in Newfields, and he has forwarded us a letter. He's transferring correspondence and the extensive work that he did for the town to the town. It's just a letter.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a sizable volume.
It certainly looks that way now, doesn't it?
I have been, just because he happens to be a personal friend, I've been hearing about these damn files.
For years?
Months, no, months.
Oh, okay.
Since he started retiring.
Oh, okay.
And, I don't know where they're going to be stored, quite truthfully.
Do you know how many there are? How many boxes?
I think we already put some in here.
Oh, already put them here?
I don't know if they're all or not, but they're.
Oh, okay.
some.
Great.
Because this is, any one of these
I
alone
know.
could be 10 boxes.
No. Yeah, again, especially when we're dealing with some of the land issues.
Yeah.
Obviously, if we need to, the town may need to, look at other storage, outside storage, but we'll have Sue notify us if that's the case.
But they can be shredded after a certain date.
I know.
Yeah.
You want to shred?
Yeah,
No, at a certain point, you call Iron Mountain and have them come and shred.
No, I know, it's just, this would be spread out
Oh,
over
yeah.
decades.
Yep. Well, I know, some of, again, on the front page, it's 1996, right? And 98.
Yeah.
With respect to the Hazel property, I don't know if you guys had a chance to go look at it. They completed the work a week and a half ago. It sounds like everything turned out fine with John. See the space back there, allowed to keep some of the, usable equipment, and, some other materials that he uses for his electrician's business. But it's cleared out. It looks...
It's still junky, but
It's manageable, yeah. It is not there are things hidden underneath, rusting under plants. John Losman, when it was going on, I saw John and talked to him. He was ecstatic about how it was going. I haven't talked to him since it's been done, but my assumption is that they will be happy as neighbors. I'm assuming the school will be happy as well. So at this point in time, Derek, I informed Derek that it is done. The question is about reimbursement for the town. It's a discussion we need to have, which is, and I'll put on the table my thoughts, which is we go back to the court with a request to get the money that we paid out for the cleanup. And propose a time period to pay, because obviously he can't pay us all.
So,
What was the
you
total?
prefer that over lien?
No, but if we have him pay over time, we know that we're getting a certain amount, and it may be that we can lien whatever amount is owed that he doesn't pay. We can certainly have that conversation with Derek. But Derek thought that if we go in there and ask for just those expenses and his legal expenses and offer to forego the fees that were racked up over the years in violation of the ordinance, he tends to think that, the legal guys might be interested. So, I thought that Derek's advice was pretty good, but I don't know if you guys have other thoughts.
What was the amount?
So the final amount was $14,000. The bid was 11.2, but it was based upon the weights. They took out a lot more. stuffed in the
What's
original
his
file.
total tax bill?
So John has basically 3 years in arrears. He does 3 years in arrears.
Oh, okay.
So every time it's coming up for the tax, and he basically pays off that and he buys another year. So he in essence owes about 3 years of property tax. It's probably something on the order of $15,000, something on that effect. But again, I think, you guys think we don't have to make a decision right now, but if you guys think about it, we'll make a recommendation to Derek, and then Derek will go inform the court.
I'm just thinking he's not really reliable making payments on his taxes. Why is he willing to fork this over?
Well, I think, that's a great point, Betsy, and maybe what we do is we look at it as if you miss a payment, it triggers something more severe.
But that means.
I'd rather give him a chance,
Yeah.
but I'd rather give him a chance to continue, to do the right thing,
Yeah.
than drop a sword of Damocles on him and say, it's, you have to foreclose on the property. Look,
You don't have to foreclose it, you just lien it.
yeah,
I mean, it's just,
After all the time that the town has spent with this guy, it doesn't make sense to, just think that he's going to pay it when he's not paying his taxes. That would be.
well, there's no way that we'll ever, in my opinion, I don't think we'll ever get that money back until the property is sold. Unless it's a pay-as-you-go over a certain time period, and then we'll get some of it more upfront. Now, like I said, if he stops paying, maybe Derek can have it agreed that there's a trigger that if you stop paying, it immediately becomes a tax lien. In a sense, getting him to pay more money upfront. I'd rather get a little bit on an ongoing basis with the potential to, lien the property than just drop it as a lien because we won't see it until he sells the property.
yeah.
So, anyways, give us some thought.
Yeah.
We can, talk next meeting, and then we'll instruct Derek as to what we want to do. All right. Minutes from Tuesday, August 3rd. By the way, that first paragraph reminds me, we got not the complete 171,000, but they made they're doing it, I think, in 2 tranches. So they made a first payment to the town for those gopher funds. I sent an email to you guys and to Sue about the use of the local funds and the restrictions on that. Maybe at the next meeting or two, we can have a broader discussion about what the town might consider doing or not doing with the funds that we've received today. I'm just as a reminder, nothing that we have to address tonight.
So is it separate from what the water department is getting? Are these 2 different?
So the water department isn't getting any funds.
Okay, they just came and talked about it.
Yes, they came because, they're obviously interested in the town providing them funding under the gopher money.
Did you, and in here, you said that you would reach out to the town department heads. Did you have a chance to do that?
Yeah, I was looking, I sent it to you guys, did I send, I thought I was gonna send it,
Did anybody respond?
no.
So right now, the water.
I'll have Sue forward that email that I sent.
But if no one's responded, the water department is the only entity that's been interested in the funding so far?
Yeah, but I don't know if the other departments have seen it yet. I sent it to you two, and to Sue. Can you, Keisha, make a note that if Sue or you can forward the use of local fiscal recovery funds email I sent on 8/4/21, just send it to all the department heads so that they have it.
I'm sure they'll come up with ideas.
Yeah, but again, it's, there are guidelines. So.
I know.
You guys have any edits to the minutes?
No.
No problem.
I will move the minutes for Tuesday, August 3rd.
Second?
I have a second for Betsy. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Anything else?
September meeting.
September meeting. Oh, thank you, Betsy. Thank you. So, looking at September, 2 weeks from now is the 7th, although that's the day after Labor Day.
Yeah, this is literally the last 2 weeks of summer. After that, then it's back to reality.
So, why don't we try the 14th and the 28th
Okay.
for now? That work? We'll put those on the calendar. And then,
I have purposely stayed away from the police chief selection.
yeah.
Has that,
They had one question, which I was able to go back and address for them, but sure that I'm there if they have a question, otherwise I keep my mouth.
yeah, I decided I'd doing more harm than good showing up, so. Did
But
they cancel the meeting?
They
Was
did
that-
because they're moving right through it.
That's what I figured,
Yep.
yeah.
They've been very, very efficient, so I think that that's moving fairly well.
So we should ask them to provide an update to us.
I think they're gonna provide their materials, you guys are providing the materials for the next meeting, correct? Yep.
Great.
There was something else I was gonna say.
I think that's it.
With, what was it, Jim.
Jim?
You know,
Jim's
great guy, he's hilarious.
Okay, Jim's good.
Really nice guy. He said the towns were, I asked him how everything was going. He said he feels that everybody is putting everything out correctly. He hasn't run into any real big problems on the curbside. He did say that some folks are still confusing things and dropping off pizza boxes and,
With the oils in it.
with the oils and then just the regular heat, like the cereal boxes stuff here.
Yeah,
And he has to.
regular cardboard, he has to sort of.
He has to, I think he actually just throw them out, he said.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise
Yeah, so, I did ask him if he was okay with us having the elementary students sort of make like little, hey, this is.
me. Yeah, Sue has flyers too that
Yeah.
came from them, but yeah, I mean, I
So
think,
he was jazzed about that. And then it did just bring up another question, you don't have to solve it now or answer it now, but, I did just out of curiosity think if we're asking students to be involved. I do remember a couple years ago, there was a big recycling sort of effort at the school. And I said, oh, do you stop at the school? And he said, no. And I don't know if that was because they just
We-
not
we-
involved or.
that trash collection and everything is done under the SAU, it's not us.
Okay. And the question he asked me was, if the students want to, like for example, at North, I guess he does it at Northampton, in the Northampton Elementary School, he has it as part of his route, but it comes out of a different budget or something. He said he'd be willing to do that and work at the elementary school and the town in terms of having it on that route, but have the tonnage or, I don't know these terms, but have that cost be allotted to the school. But I think it have to be allowed, okay by you guys as part of the.
Well, and.
I'm not sure how we
school
do that.
would- Yeah, that's
The
dicey.
the tonnage gets done, typically, the way the tonnage aspect works is, they fill their truck with everything from Newfields and go to the scales, and then they get, certified weight, and that's what we pay on. So I'm not sure how he would weigh the schools on. Separate? I mean, we can certainly have a conversation with the SAU about it. I would have assumed that the SAU would have a contract for somebody to go to all the SAU schools, or as part of the big SAU. But
I didn't know that.
yeah, we'll have a conversation with the school board, find out what they're going to do and what they can do. But I don't think we can separate it out as part of the town.
Has anybody put a sign on the dumpster saying no pizza boxes?
I don't know.
I have it. Jim's Jim's material, I mean, you want to put a sign on.
Well, I mean, I bet you could get somebody at the elementary school to
So you
Make
decide
it-
for that?
Oh, sure, make a sign for that.
signs.
Landon,
put on
you
the-
go start on there.
But in regards to, you said, Michael, you'd like me to talk to the school board, or you?
Oh, no, I'll reach out to them, because, yeah, because it'll boil down to really who's responsible and how it gets paid for.
Right.
So, yeah, I'll have that conversation.
Okay, just, what was nice to hear was that Jim was like, sure, whatever you guys want, I can do.
Oh, no, Jim's great. Yeah, I think he's very easygoing, the rates are very reasonable. Certainly a lot less than the other bids that we got, so far so good.
It still kills me that we can't put glass in there. My hand goes.
Nobody recycles it.
I know, but I am being very careful. I literally have a magnifying glass by the garbage because those damn numbers. I mean,
Your
you can-
plastic numbers?
and you're holding them up to the light and you're dumping something on yourself. Looking at it, I don't know.
Yep,
But I'm getting better.
that's good. Good. Other comments? Aaron? No? You and Ben? No?
Just woke up.
All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. We are adjourned. Thank you, guys.
Keisha, I just want to see where, so the boxes are on the stage.
Michael, thank you for, this is amazing. I clicked accidentally, I'm like, whoa, it's so
Yeah,
clear.
it works.